Hey guys, just an update on how the Mass Effect adaptation project is going. Half of the voice actors have done their lines for Eden Prime scene as well as the Tuchanka scene. So the Eden Prime scene is similar to what happened in Mass Effect 1 except of 10 changes I made, but it should still feel like what happened in the game. For example, 3 of the changes are 1. I got rid of Corporal Jenkins. I don't know if he had any fans. 2. I had his role replaced by Ashley Williams, i.e. she's already a permanent member on Shepard's team. 3. I had Ashley's role replaced by Liara, i.e. you find the Prothean expert on the Prothean dig site. I think it's a much more efficient way of introducing these two characters. And in terms of Tuchanka's scene, it's pretty much Grunt's loyalty mission, and it happens just before the events of the Arrival DLC. I think I want to include the Arrival DLC and also the fallout from Shepard's trial as a war criminal. The idea of the Tuchanka scene is to show Shepard, Tali, Garrus, Rex, and Grunt in their downtime, and it starts on Tuchanka because the movie will end on Tuchanka with the cure of the genophage. Alright, the commentary. So why is he there? One, I think he's the embodiment of the destroy ending as Illusive Man is for the control ending. This is the movie, no choice, so no need for Anderson. It comes back to the concept that the final choice will decide the fate of the galaxy. There was a Reddit article a couple of days ago saying, would you have preferred if the ending of Mass Effect 3 did not have a final epic choice, but rather you make a few small tactical decisions like that in the suicide mission, where you had to utilize the war asset you have collected, and the ending plays out depending on those decisions as well as all the other decisions you made throughout the game series. What do you guys think? Would you have preferred like that? Like there's no final epic choice? The second reason why Anderson is there is because Shepard's walking speed when she's injured is like so slow and boring. You guys have no idea. I had to play that sections like 12 times when making the video. But I think having Anderson talk to Shepard and hence the player make it a little bit better. However, if this was a scene in a movie and the audience is passive, I would force them to watch her die in Shepard, which starkly contrasts to any other moment you see Shepard where she's quick and efficient and very light on her feet. It's even scarier if she's completely alone in the heart of enemy base. There's no one to help her and no one to figure out what's going on with her. So because of this, I think it's better not to have Anderson. And that was a tough decision because the final dialogue between Shepard and Anderson is easily one of the top 5 emotional moments from the game. And as a writer, not being able to include that, I feel bad, but I think it's necessary. If Anderson dies, it could be a distraction to Shepard's death. I don't know if it makes it more sad or less sad, but I'm not taking any risks. If you think about it, all 5 movies literally culminate at Shepard's sacrifice. Literally, every plot point can be linked back to the fact that Shepard will not survive, and that is brilliant. Because everything now happens for a reason. There's no more random events or words spoken. If Shepard said she wants to retire, have a family with her love interest, and have a lot of little children, it's designed so that she never gets that, i.e. the premature, tragic death of our young hero. If you have Grunt falling into the Ragnar abyss and then miraculously survive just barely, you are actually trying to trick the audience into thinking that Shepard might actually live through this, but she doesn't. You pretty much spent 5 movies building up to this point. It's like super important. You cannot screw this one up. Don't get me wrong, Mass Effect the game is about your Shepard story, so I have no problem with your Shepard surviving in the game. It's just that for a movie it makes more sense if she doesn't. The other thing, if you have seen my Shepard origin story, aka Mass Effect Enlisted, you'd buy a lot more into the father-child relationship between Shepard and Anderson. It's a lot more, it's pretty sad that a young woman tragically died in what she believes in, but what's more sad is having the father figure survive and watch her die. So Anderson has to live. The other small reason is that I sort of had to kill off Jacob Taylor and some of the other characters, so that Mass Effect 3 doesn't feel like a massive reunion, and I didn't want to kill all the black characters, so yeah. I have 3 main issues with the Illusive Man character. But for someone who never played the previous Mass Effect games, I think he's quite well portrayed. The first problem is that he's too similar to Saren. Well, at least my version of Saren. I really didn't want to repeat the whole thing where Shepard talks the villain into shooting himself in the head, and for very similar reasons. The second reason why I don't like the portrayal of the Illusive Man in the game is because I always knew he was indoctrinated and evil, and then at the end I found out he was. There's no doubt in my perception of his character, and so that's not very interesting. What they should have done was make the Illusive Man do more good things in Mass Effect 2, and then slowly he succumbs to indoctrination. This especially fits if you pick the Paragon dialogue option. You could see that Shepard really believes that she can work together with Illusive Man, like most likely because they did work together in Mass Effect 2 and was a good relationship, but then he's changed. The third reason is that I never understood his motivation to a reasonable level. I guess that make him live up to his name, the Illusive Man. You have have you noticed how many of the missions with Cerberus, especially the N7 ones, had Hackett saying something like, "We have no idea why Cerberus is here," and then Shepard says, "We'll find out and we'll stop them," and then they never find out. Even after finishing the game, I went back and I still had trouble figuring out why the Cerberus was there. The main problem is that they are literally everywhere and had a gender in everything, and I don't see a plausible reason as to why. If someone could explain it to me, that would be great. Like, I know the reason in inverted comma, like curing the genophage is not good for humanity, and so Cerberus is there on Sukesh trying to capture the Krogan female. But all the other scenes of the Illusive Man showed that he is obsessed with controlling the Reapers. And I'm sorry, when someone is truly addicted and obsessed with one thing, like drug taking or whatever, I don't expect him to have a balanced lifestyle and at that very moment be an excellent multitasking person. But he is obsessed with controlling Reapers. He should not be capturing orbital cannons into Chunker or capturing reactors or having fighter bases on Noveria. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's good for Mass Effect 3 because it is a four-monster game. It allows a variety of enemies, because otherwise it would just be all banshees, and that's very scary. But for a movie, the Cerberus motivation has to make more sense. It's good that you don't need a ton of gameplay in a movie, so you don't have to show them being everywhere. But I also had to work out the role of the Illusive Man, his relationship with Shepard, and activity of Cerberus, and try to fix all the three issues I have with it. But it's better that I show you through this adaptation rather than just to tell you. This is really complicated, so if you can understand, great. If not, don't worry about it. Try and write a script for the opening scene of Mass Effect 1 on Eden Prime. You realize the number of, just ridiculous number of things that are happening in a very small time period. So you're talking about 10 to 12 minutes on screen time. There is the concept of specters, a mysterious Torian Spectre number 1 monitoring Shepard on a mission to uncover a technologically advanced beacon belonging to an ancient race called the Protheans, which was mysteriously wiped out. During the mission, Geth, a race of artificial intelligence who was created by the Quarians, also want to get their hand on the beacon for an unknown reason, and they apparently takes order from Torian Spectre number 2, who kills Torian Spectre number 1, and their space zombies. I did my very best in that scene to make everything super tight and flow and easy to understand, but I'm drawing the line at space zombies. Again, game mechanics: range enemies Geth, melee enemies Husk. It works great for the game, but I just don't think I can explain that extra concept and how you make Husk. I just can't do it. So, no Husks in Mass Effect 1. So instead, Husks are revealed at the end of Mass Effect 2. Instead of the human Reapers being revealed, the collectors are actually making a Husk army from the abducted colonists. So the human Reapers can get pushed back to Mass Effect 3. And that's the reason.